Hello and welcome to part 2 of Starlit Future Post-Mortal. If you haven't watched part 1, go do that,
What are
because
you
this
doing
is
here?
not going to make any sense. You're not going to know what happened, except I am about to say what happened. So, previously on Starlit Future. The Cosmic Trust flagship Mariposa was suddenly diverted, given new orders away from their ongoing mission to explore the unveiled galaxy, to instead transport Dr. Fang, your chief medical officer and the foremost expert on the transcension process, to transport them to the Cosmic Trust Rehabilitation Center, which is essentially just a big Cosmic Trust prison. But the captain, during his personal captain's log, was expressing his concerns with having to keep the crew in the dark regarding what the mission was really about. In the middle of recording his log, the ship was attacked by what appeared to be a strange, cobbled together, but expertly cobbled together ship made of parts that were from not only human construction, but Kithrali, various aliens, all sort of brought together. The ship was also being piloted by only 3 transcended humans, and while they did put up a good fight, the Mariposa was ultimately victorious. However, when they brought the ship on board and went to investigate, they found that all 3 of these transcended human crew members had essentially self-destructed themselves, their heads completely melted away, and along with it, any chance of retrieving the data from whatever their mission is, or their memories, or anything. They had also laced their ship's computers with some kind of virus that made it very difficult to find out who they were, what they were doing, but between Ruiso's analysis and the doctors and one Mr. McAllister, also known as Callie, the chief engineer, all together pieced together that these must have been members of the Post-Mortal, a terrorist organization of transcended humans who believe themselves to be beyond humanity and are trying to move humanity toward a future where we no longer think of ourselves as human. However, they have not been publicly active, certainly haven't made any big bold moves like this, so the question of why was brought up, which prompted the captain to reveal to the field team why exactly he thinks they were attacked. Because the real reason for their mission is that a scientist at the rehabilitation center has claimed to have reversed the transcension process, theoretically putting a transcended human mind back into an organic human body. This has never been done before, and the question then became, if this is the reason the Post-Mortal attacked us, how did they know? Was it a leak from the Mariposa, or was it a leak from the rehabilitation center? So the ship continued on its mission, with now the field team no longer being in the dark, and on the way there, a conversation was had with Callie, between Callie and CTA, where it was revealed that Callie was once on a task force before he joined the Mariposa. He was on a task force that was trying to root out the Post-Mortal, and it broke him, the things that he saw during that time, and he turned to alcohol, and eventually he was dismissed from the Cosmic Trust. He then got himself cleaned up and joined again, with Okita's recommendation, became the chief engineer. We also learned that a friend of his, a dear friend of his, named Jason, had, according to him, been killed by the Post-Mortal very recently, only a few months ago. And he was lamenting that he wasn't even able to attend the funeral because he's been out on this mission. We then arrived at the rehabilitation center, where you met Admiral Mendez, as well as Dr. Avery Morris, who is the one claiming to have done this. They brought you to the cell of a man named Henry Tell, who Captain Okita recognized as being someone who was once a member of the Cosmic Trust. But that's as much information as we've gotten so far. As he stood up, we saw a television playing in his cell, revealing that the perhaps controversial among the crew figure of Victor Crown, the businessman who largely funded this mission in the first place, um, has been elected the new human representative on the council. Dr. Fang looked at this clearly organic human man with shock and wonder and asked, "How did you do this, Dr. Morris? How did you make this happen?" Dr. Morris said, "Innovation out of tragedy. We built him out of his brother, Jason Tell." And that is where we will pick up.
I think there is an immediate gasp from me. But, you know, what, 18 hours ago, Carly and I had this conversation. And so I think I freeze. And then I try to play it off as I look to Dr. Fang. But do a very bad job of it.
Is everything okay?
Yes, Doctor. And I'm looking at Henry, and I don't know what Jason Tell looked like. It would be convenient for me to say that after the fact that Constant looked all of this up last night. But I didn't say that last episode, so. And I think the mind is just racing now, just thinking about Callie and thinking about the implications of this and the way that they phrased it too, built him out of his brother, leaves a particular distaste in my mouth. And I just turn to Dr. Morris and the Admiral. Would you care to elaborate on this?
I can, Doctor, if you don't mind. Dr. Morris goes, No, Henry, please. It's not that complicated. The postmortal killed my brother. Barely 3 months ago. But he was an operative of the Cosmic Trust, and he very specifically stipulated that his body would be donated for scientific purposes to the Cosmic Trust when he died. So I'm given to understand that they used his DNA to grow a new body. Fang goes, that level of cloning has not been even, is that even, I mean, and the Admiral goes, I assure you, we were in close conversation with the Cosmic Trust, with the Council. Everything was above board. I can show you the records, I can show you our communication with the Council. Nothing we did here was illegal or unsanctioned.
Yes, but to what end? Just to see if it could be done?
Well, the doctor goes, well, that's a I suppose, speaks to a larger philosophical conversation. I personally believe that human bodily autonomy really is not completely free until we have the ability to do this. There are people who want this. I'm not even one of them. But frankly, it's a necessary innovation. And he turns to Henry and he goes, and Henry goes, and I was a willing volunteer. I make no secret of that. I wanted this. Badly, okay? Is that what you need to hear? It's true.
What deal were you given if you went through this?
Deal? There's no deal. I did what I did. I stay here.
What'd you do?
Oh, you don't know? Just some nice, clean Cosmic Trust oversight there, I see. I'm happy to give a nice, long interview. Is that what we're here for? Dr. Morris goes, if that's, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with that. I don't want you to have a biased opinion here. We'd be happy to leave you alone, right, Admiral? And the Admiral goes, yes. Take whatever time you need. Talk to him. Get to know him. Contact me when you're ready.
If you don't mind, Admiral Doctor, I think it would benefit all of us if you were to remain while we ask Mr. Henry all our questions.
The captain looks to you, CTA, and goes, do you concur with that?
I looked at Liam.
Liam shrugs, like, what?
Rudy will wink to him very pointedly.
Yes, I believe you would be able to supplement and provide us with the full picture.
All right, the Admiral says. We're happy to stay. Ask whatever questions you need to. The captain looks to you and goes, Commander, your skills of insight are most valuable in this. I would like you to take point here. Ask whatever questions that you think would be illuminating in this moment.
I will step forward. I am sorry for your loss.
Mm-hmm.
May I ask why you wish to reverse transcension?
I am no longer interested in living forever.
May I ask, and I guess this is a question to both you and the doctor, was this only possible because you had access to your brother's DNA? Could You have been placed in someone else's body?
Dr. Morris goes, "No, he most certainly could not have. That was the whole point of growing a new body. That's why this can't work any other way. It's just like with transcension. The mind must be mapped to something built to accommodate it. The reverse is the same. Someone else's mind, all of its complexities, its nuance, its structure wouldn't be compatible."
But because they are brothers, it is a close enough match.
Well, yes. They were identical twins. Are identical twins.
Oh, fuck.
Yes. But also, it wasn't simply a matter of cloning Jason per se. This body that you see was, yes, it was created with a base of his DNA, but even the structures, the anatomy of a brain between identical twins, they are very similar, but not identical. There was some bioengineering using Mr. Tell's brain patterns to mold and change some of the largest discrepancies during the growing process to make the brain more like Mr. Tell's. Like the living Mr. Tell's.
There's going to be a lot of empathy rolls happening. I would like to, on the R, present tense usage, I would like to see what the hell that's about. Because if you're able to clone someone, you can clone them again. Explode.
Ooh.
14. 16?
There are no deep implications here. The loss of his identical twin brother is still relatively fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's dead doesn't mean he's not his brother anymore.
True. How long had this technology been in the works for?
Well, I've devoted many years of my life to this study. I had theorized that something like this could be possible, but in truth, the tragic loss of Jason did provide the opportunity. Henry wanted this, and it seems as though the stars had aligned, if you believed in such things.
I have a few more questions in mind, but I would like to open the floor to my fellow field team.
As Dr. Feng sort of implied, this cloning technology, that is an innovation separate unto itself. How long has that been in the works for?
Well, I am standing on the shoulders of giants with that. It's been possible for some time, and it's not strictly speaking legal to try and create a sapient clone of a person. That's completely unethical. But to create a body that is, for all intents and purposes, blank, well, We didn't have regulations for that. The council agreed that with this possibility, and with Henry's enthusiastic consent, it was worthwhile to try.
I suppose the next step in this in this sort of innovation, would be, at least this is where my mind went. You can tell me whether this is ethical or not. Upon going through the process of transcending a human, you save a segment of their DNA, such that in the event they wish to reverse transcension, a body from their original human body may be cloned, thus eliminating the need for an identical twin, which the odds of a transcended human having a non-transcended human identical twin is not impossible, clearly, but rare.
Yes, theoretically, though it's not just a matter of having some DNA. Access to Jason's entire body was incredibly useful as a reference point. I don't think I could have done it with just a vial of blood.
I see. So then, in this case, in this particular methodology of reversing transcension, the parameters and the conditions in which one can reverse transcension are limited. It requires a deceased sibling, or I don't know if any immediate family member can do.
Or the preservation of an entire body.
Or the preservation of an entire body. It's you had mentioned philosophical implications. This is this brings up more. You are essentially not, at least at this juncture, allowing only reverse transcension to occur for certain people. Not out of bias, but simply as necessity, as what can be done.
Well, for transcended humans, once they have transcended, what they do with their original body is up to them. It is not unheard of for one to want to freeze it, keep it for themselves somewhere. Just, people have their reasons.
Hey, Veal,
Perhaps,
what the fuck is that about?
perhaps strange to some, but it's sentimental for those who have the means to do so. It's been done. So if this were to become public, to be institutionalized, the option to have one's original body frozen, I imagine, will become an industry in and of itself. No longer just accessible to those who can afford it, but a basic human right.
I want to recognize the amount of work that is done into accomplishing this. I am a Nunala. I do not have such interest in such things, but I am also a person of science, and I can also recognize the genius that was involved in this. Would it be possible for me, or perhaps Dr. Feng and I, to be able to look back at your records, your logs, your communications, to see the process of how the sausage was made, so to speak?
Of course. That's part of why you're here.
Yes.
You will have full access to my records.
Thank you. I don't know if I have any questions for Henry particularly, but only that I hope that I do not have the words. I do not know what it's like to lose a sibling or someone close to me. In Unala culture, death is something to be celebrated. but I can understand the sadness of not having someone to be with you any longer. I hope that the efforts that Jason had made, both in life and in death, have brought you some comfort, Henry.
I guess only time will tell if it does or doesn't. This wasn't his final gift to me because he never knew that he gave it to me. So, I can't let myself think that way. And it's not an opportunity for me to go out and do anything with my life because I'm staying right here.
What did you do to end up here in the first place?
You want to hear the tale of woe? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Figured as much. I was hoping they'd only send people who already knew, but I was, well, my brother and I both actually joined the Cosmic Trust together. Our parents were part of MAP. The, sort of looks around to see, like, if people know what that is. He goes, that's the, Mortal Advocacy Program. They're just... Well, it's kind of hard to explain what they did. What they do, really. They just advocate for organic humans being able to have access to the resources they historically have always had. We have always had. They protect farmlands, provided crisis relief when farmlands were burned by postmortal, and they donate money to organic human candidates for offices. They just want to make sure that we aren't left behind. They're completely nonviolent. They're not like... Well, they're not like some other organizations from the past. Despite what some people may want to believe. But, our parents, they were loud voices. They used everything they had to fight for what they believed in, without ever raising a fist. And the postmortal killed them for it. So yeah, my brother and I joined because we wanted to punish them. When we got through the academy, the first chance we got, we wanted to be on the task force. We hunted them down. And I got very lucky on a patrol. Asked the right questions, followed the right leads, and I found myself face to face with an outpost that I thought was unoccupied. They'd taken a bunch of hostages. It's a long story, but we had a ticking clock to find and recover them. Scan of the outside didn't reveal anything, so I went in. Alone. I will be sensitive to the stomach tolerance level of the various people in this room who I don't know, and I will just say that what I saw in that place, what they had done to those people, it colored my judgment, along with everything else I had already seen on that job. And when one of them came into the room unexpectedly, they just froze there and looked at me, sort of cocked their head like some predatory animal. And they had no weapons, not on them, not anywhere to reach for. They didn't make any aggressive moves, they just stood there like they were waiting for me to do something. And I waited a few seconds and I made a choice. And I put a bullet right between where its eyes should be. That's what I'm doing here. He like squints at your pips, Lieutenant. I killed an unarmed person because I was a cowboy. I am not interested in living forever with that choice. And I don't want to live long enough to be let out of here. Does that answer your question to your satisfaction?
Rudy flicks his eyes to the Admiral, studies him silently.
Do you want to roll about it?
Sure, I'll roll it.
I also would like to roll about it. Anytime the sort of bureaucracy of the Cosmic Trust is brought up, I would like to roll about it.
I'm guessing this is a resolve.
Yes. You're looking for a 12.
Not good enough. I got a 7.
I got a 6.
Admiral Mendez is a very stony person. He listens to the story and does not betray anything.
So, on a shaky moral foundation, you use this emotionally wounded person to test out a brand new theory without considering the ethics of it.
The ethics of bodily autonomy are what a person wants to be. Tell me, to what ethics are you referring to, Mr. Rodriguez?
The ethics that this man wants to be dead. I'm an engineer. I find mechanical problems and I fix them. That's why I know that it's not my place to make ethical judgments. That's why I'm just a lieutenant right now. So I know better than to proceed with something without checking in. And you, Doctor, went blindly ahead without once considering the ethics, only that it was legal. A person of your station should know that legal and right are not always the same thing.
You hear Tell's voice get louder as he gets closer to the energy field. He goes, "Hey, engineer. Don't talk to me like I'm not in the fucking room." I get where you're coming from. I do. And hey, being wary of bureaucracy and the intentions of these people is fully justifiable. But you talk about me, you talk to me. I've earned that much. I did my due diligence. I did my interviews. I jumped through all the hoops they wanted me to. I waited long enough to get this. Too long to listen to some kid say otherwise. I am not a mechanical problem to be fixed anymore. And I wasn't asking to die. I was asking to live long enough to be allowed to die. I have nothing else to say.
Your brother's death was recently described to me as... Well, not much was said other than disrespectful. I'm not sure if the news cycle has caught up or was allowed to tell you that on our way here we were attacked. Almost certainly by members of the postmortal.
Yeah, that information was shared with me by the Admiral here. Told me that's why Captain Okita would be bringing some extra hands.
With your knowledge of them, do you believe that that attack was more general, sort of a forethought behind it, or do you believe it is a continuing disrespect given you are who you are and your brother is who he was? And do you believe that they might try again here?
Here? Doubtful. See, some of the higher-ups like to believe that our efforts were not in vain, because things were quiet for a good few years there. But what they did to my brother, what they did to you, it's not quiet. It does not feel random. It does not feel like a remnant. I don't know what resources they've been gathering. But I know what they had before. Bootleg, transcension, scrap metal salvaged from pirates that they tore apart. Building outposts on city stations that looked the other way. There was always just a little bit of audacity there, what they were able to get away with. I don't know if anyone told you, but there's a belief that a lot of us still hold, those who fought them, that there was a ringleader, someone creating the illusion of disorganization, but was in fact highly intelligent and surgical. We don't know who this is. I know we never caught him. You know, me and Henry Our friends back in the day, we used to refer to this phantom stranger as Geppetto. The one building the machines and pulling all the strings. The one controlling all the puppets.
Above table, did you mean to say Henry or did you mean to say Jason?
Just now?
Yeah.
Oh, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on.
Wait.
Computing.
Wait. Implications loading?
No, he said what he said.
At that, I will. You see, Rudy's decorum is kind of crumbling at this point, and at that, he does shoot like a shocked, pointed glance at Constance. And you can see that he's kind of tightening up, like he's like, "Oh shit, something's about to go down."
Yeah, I think Constant catches that too. I catch that too, and I'm like, okay.
Like just
Yeah. Now, with your knowledge of them, how would you imagine that they would know our mission and to know to attack us?
I don't. I mean, do I believe that they would attack you either way? Yeah, they were trying to sabotage the Mariposa before it even was done being built. But would one little ship with 3 crew members try to attack you when they've had all this time to regroup? I doubt it. If they can build a ship like that. These 3, they were peons. They were puppets. Part of a larger game.
Do you believe it was a message to tell us that we're still playing?
Maybe.
But
a message for who? Because those of us who care, we already knew that. I would absolutely expect a storm. On this, historic election day here, too? I just... Well, I don't know. I'm rusty. This isn't my job anymore. I just see what I see. And the Admiral goes, "They would be fools to attack this place, though. I have been running a very thorough security sweep, and I trust my people here. This is a highly secure facility. People have to show identification constantly. Unless they can turn themselves invisible now."
I think that Rudy does he does spin around and then start scanning the room, like looking for any of like the predator vision like camouflage thing.
Sure.
Could that be a brains investigation since we worked on since the boys?
Yes. Looking for if there's anyone invisible in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. 15.
I believe in you.
Oh, that's really good. It could explode that, but shit's about to go down. 22.
Whew.
Nothing out of place that you can see.
All right. Captain, first officer, I suddenly feel very uncomfortable and recommend that we get the doctors back onto the Mariposa along with Mr. Tell, uh, I have a feeling that the Admiral may have clued us in on something.
Dr. Fang goes, right, well, I have tests that I would like to run. I'd like to get a good look at your brain, Mr. Tell. There's really no other way to put that. Henry goes, yeah, see, I like this. Directness, actually, that's very helpful. Whatever you need. The doctor goes, I can't look at him here. Captain, with your permission, or Admiral, with your... Sort of looks between the two of them, like... You can see on their face, like... I know the Admiral is the ranking person here, but the Captain's the one I respect and want to ask permission. So they're looking at both, and they're like, with your permissions, with your... I would like to examine Mr. Tell in my own lab. If you don't mind him being aboard the Mariposa. I believe that my equipment, well, I don't want to assume anything, Dr. Morris, but I'd just like to do things my way in this moment, to be absolutely sure. Avery goes, well, no, I'm not offended. It's your discretion, of course, if you'd like to bring the prisoner aboard your vessel, but I assure you that we are perfectly happy to accommodate. Our lab is quite robust, but do whatever you need to do to feel comfortable, and I will bring you my research. In fact, you're welcome to, I understand there's a scientist among you, a computer specialist. Feel free to look at my records, anything you need.
I would actually love to do that as quickly as possible, as soon as possible.
The captain goes, right, very well. On your leave, Admiral, we will bring Mr. Tell aboard the Mariposa, and Dr. Feng can begin the research. Everyone else... Well, you have the run of the place at the Admiral's discretion, of course. Everyone goes, yes, I'd be happy to show you any facilities you need to see.
Hate his vibe so much.
Mm-hmm.
He's being an accommodating guest. I don't see what the problem. He's being an accommodating host. I don't see what the problem is.
So
I'm
real.
gonna go wherever Dr. Fang goes.
Back to the ship.
But yeah, well, I just mean like wherever Fang is, I'm going to go as, you know, it's honestly kind of like just like as security, and
security officers here also are called in by the Admiral to, like, as Henry is brought out and, like, put in some cuffs, walked along. You have a little entourage of people here.
Does Okita go with, or does Okita stay? Because I just realized at least one of the two should be... I don't want to, like, split the party just to split it.
Okita would probably stay then.
Okay.
If you go.
Because, you know, the captain should be here, and then the first officer should be there, or vice versa.
Yeah.
They both shouldn't be in the same place. I'll just say, keep me apprised.
Aye, aye. I would like to go take a look at those logs, wherever they might be, and communications, and just general records of this whole experiment.
I think Rudy is gonna accompany Constant back to the Mariposa.
So Dr. Morris's lab would be where you'd want to go.
Great.
And you would find this, like, sprawling expanse of technology, probably comparable, maybe a little bit bigger than the Mariposa's actual, like, science station. It's like the science station and the med bay spliced into one, but there is no, you know, most of your science work is done amongst nature in the Arboretum. But here it's very clinical. Not utilitarian, because this place there is like a candy land. There's so much stuff here. But nothing is decorative. And the doctor shows you to his terminal, and you are welcome to go through the records. So just for the sake of the sake, I'm not going to give you a DC. I'm just going to ask you to make a brains roll with computers.
Okay.
Now I feel
I'll
bad.
tell you some stuff based on that.
Now I feel bad that we left Ruizo alone with Liam.
What do you mean? Ruizo can handle it.
Oh yeah,
He's got
Liam
it.
is with you as well.
I mean,
for sure.
Liam's
Okay,
with you,
okay.
but I
All
just
right,
feel
Liam's
bad.
Okay. Shit.
No!
He's doing what he was asked to do.
He's got the captain with him, right?
The captain's there, right?
Oh
Right?
my god. Is the captain there? The captain did stay on the rehabilitation, whatever.
I would think that the captain would stay to talk to the admiral
Okay.
and not go
fine.
with you in this. But if you asked him to, he probably would.
I would not have asked him to.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Alright, well.
Take a star point, buddy.
Yeah, that's a nice meaty 7.
Okay. Yeah, you can take a star point. What I will tell you is you do see, like, he shows you the records. And you do see, like, logs of stages of growth. You're looking at the process, like, again, you're not a person who does transcension. But you do see everything is here and accounted for. You see, like, detailed maps of his brain. You see logs of interviews with him. With, like, there are other people privy to this. There's, like, high-level sort of psychologists who have been brought in. There's, like, 2 years worth of interviews with Henry, going through every possible thing they could think of. Making absolutely sure that this is what he wanted, that he's in his right mind. But this is very fresh. Like, it's only been a probably less than a week since the
Since he
procedure
went
was
through.
Successful. Yeah.
Sure. Do I note any change in Henry's demeanor before, like, what changes in Henry's demeanor do I see before and after Jason's death?
Excellent question.
Before and after Jason's death, I would say he's a pretty model prisoner. He's very quiet and just goes about his life very minimally. People mostly note that he sits and reads or watches TV. He doesn't really have, like, friends here like other prisoners, but he doesn't really start fights or anything, like. But when his brother died, he started being a little more vocal and a little more resolved. I'll give you this. You find some notes from the Admiral that give a sense of, like, the Admiral was kind of impressed, that it almost feels like Henry was coming back to the person he was before he made his mistake. Yeah.
And one last thing, is there any indication in the logs that Jason ever visited Henry before his
Here?
death?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's, like, a thing that can happen at this maximum security prison.
I think yes. I think he would
Okay.
have.
Okay. Because Ruiso did also pick up that Henry said Henry,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and and immediately
Yeah.
a conspiracy begins to form in Ruiso's
I will say nobody has asked about Jason's death yet, of like how he died or what happened.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons that Constant wants to go back on the ship.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Surely one of the logs would have had to have been someone informing Henry of Jason's death, so would there be any notice of that there?
Yeah. The details of it. So what you would find is he did indeed continue working with the task force all this time. And there is like those records of like, yeah, who is leading them? Like what are they doing? Where are they getting resources? Are they gearing up for something? He was still looking into that. But his death was it came really out of the blue. He was on Vertex. He was living on Vertex. And deep within his investigation, he went missing, essentially. He went missing from his house. Like, he was just straight up taken from his own home. His home was burned to the ground. And he went missing for 2 days. Before basically a robot, just an empty transcended body, not even a person, just a body with a face that was designed to look like his own face, marched the body right up as close to Cosmic Trust headquarters as it could get before being like flagged down and stopped, and just like laid at the feet of the Cosmic Trust. And when they dug into this robot, they found that it was not a transcended human. It was just an empty shell that was being controlled remotely by sources unknown. And when they opened it up to look at it, it played a message.
Was the message for Henry?
The message was for the Cosmic Trust in general. And it said, "We will cut the strings of every puppet you send after us."
So these guys are like dangerous.
These guys are wild and out. That's what they're doing.
These guys are in Vertex? Like, in a space station? Oh my
That's
goodness.
the kind of crazy thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
At the seat of government, too. Like,
Yeah.
this happened.
Okay.
yeah, can't imagine Henry took that well.
Okay.
No.
But
Mm-hmm.
there are multiple eyewitnesses that can identify a totally dead body that matches the description of one Jason Tell.
Yes. He was...
Okay.
His body was largely... It was intact. It didn't look like he had been tortured in any way. There was just one clean entry and exit wound through his stomach where he had been stabbed.
Okay.
But they are identical twins.
Yeah.
That does poke a hole in my
That
Henry is
Jason is
Jason.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Henry is Jason theory. But maybe. I don't know. Okay. I think I'm... There's more that I would like to know, but I don't know if I'll know any more on a 7 roll.
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I have my own conspiracy theory that I'm freaking out about over here. As we march back to the Mariposa, I'll pull Constant slightly back, and then under my breath I'll say, "Commander, I would like to apologize for my outburst. I know that was actions unbefitting of an officer of the Cosmic Trust. But right now, I feel like, or I need to make a request of you to allow me to do a sweep of the ship when the Admiral said that, jokingly about the cloaking thing, I suddenly hypothesized that it might be possible that there were more than just those 3 post-mortals aboard the ship, and they may actually have some sort of miniaturized cloaking thing. If you would allow me, I would like to, 1, devise a way to sweep the ship, and then 2, sweep the ship, just to be sure.
Well, you are correct that objectively those were actions and words unbefitting of an officer. And Constant just kind of leans in closer to you. I think you are correct. I do not like that admiral very much. You have my full permission to do so.
Thank you, sir. I'll keep you updated.
Group mutiny.
And as we like actually get onto the ship proper, I think we're still sort of behind Dr. Fang and Mr. Tell and the retinue there. I don't necessarily want Henry to hear what I'm about to say, so I will, into my communicator, I will just say, Sarsaparilla, I need to talk to you.
Alright, where?
We're somewhere close to the med bay that is discreet enough, like far enough, but also close enough, discreet enough, but also, you know what I mean?
I mean, you can find a private room in the med bay if you want to. Privacy in there is kind of a factor, you know. It's also one level away from the Arboretum, which is the science station. There's a lot of people there, and it's open. Actually, that might be less private than the med bay.
I think just like then on the deck of the med bay, but not necessarily in med bay itself. Probably just some room that would also be on that same deck, because the whole deck is not the med bay, correct? That would be huge.
Yeah. No, there is a whole deck that is the med bay.
Okay, that's insane.
You have like a full hospital on board the ship.
Awesome. So cool. Love working here. Then yeah, I guess one of the more if I would know where Fang is going to take Henry first, I would choose like a room kind of far away from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think when Callie comes in, there is like an overwhelming urge to hug him again. Like there is like a it's like the emotions that you hold not only for yourself but for someone else, and you try to hold them back because you're trying to be whatever you want to call it, responsible, level-headed, and they're starting to like bubble up more and more and more. And I do think that I do ask him, you know, how Jason died. I don't know if he would give any more information on that.
It'd be the same story.
Yeah.
Just in his words.
I wanted you to I didn't want you to hear it from a report. But the person who it is Henry. And they used Jason's DNA to do it.
I'm sorry. They used his DNA to do what?
To reverse the transcension process to grow him a new body.
They grew him a body. Out of his. And he wanted this?
That is what he said. He said he did not want to live forever, and wanted the opportunity to live long enough to die.
All right. I don't really know what to. Can I know this?
I don't know, but I am telling you.
I do now. Yeah. No. Henry, he was. I mean, I wasn't as close with him as I was with Jason, but the three of us were still, we worked together a lot, and they butted heads a lot, but they were still tight, like brothers do, I suppose. But Henry was always a little darker than his brother. Jason he had a brightness to him, no matter how bad things got. But Henry took it like I did. He spiraled into it. But that anger, that was already in him. I mean, their parents, they were advocates for...
He told us.
Right, but, it always was kind of a matter of... Jason kind of followed more in their footsteps. Whereas Henry, he transcended. He felt he needed to carve his own path. We used to joke, I know it's a bit morbid, but we used to joke that he wanted to live long enough to get to a world where the postmortal weren't in it. But deeper than that, I always believed he did it kind of out of rebellion. A little bit. Like he wanted to give himself something that they looked down on, or something like that. He's a complex feller.
I tell you this not only because I feel you should know, but also knowing now who this was done to, if there is any other insights that you feel would be helpful. Any knowledge, no matter how disparate.
Only that... Well... That man never said a damn thing he didn't mean. And he did not fear any authority. If he says that he did this of his own volition, I'd bet good money he means that. Honestly, I could never really gather up the courage to come see him after what he did. I mean, I get it. I do. I guess I just saw in that what I imagined I could have done if I had stayed during that time. Because even now, sober and semi-clear-headed, I can't tell you with 100% certainty that I think what he did was wrong.
I would concur.
They put him in jail because it was unarmed. But they're never really unarmed. A super strong, super fast...
I start flexing.
No, you ain't like them. I know you're being funny, but that ain't funny to me.
I'm sorry. I do not know what to do with all of these feelings. I've never felt them before. It's like I am sad for you, and sad for me, and sad for him, and it is confusing.
I ain't mad at you. I just want you to know I don't see you that way. smart money's on I never will. I don't see you as a machine. I mean, even before the new look. I don't know. You're you. You know?
That is nice to hear. Okay, focus. We are getting off track, and I should not be away from Dr. Feng for too long, in case something happens. I asked if he thought that this was this, gesturing, to the ship, situation was a further disrespect because of who he is and who Jason was. He did not seem to answer in the affirmative, but I can't help but keep entertaining the possibility.
Well, I've given some thought to the matter, and I can see that point of view. I can. There's the theatricality about it that is central to what they do, but they never did nothing for no reason. Yeah, it was always grand, it was always sending a message, but it also still served a purpose. Killing Jason, for example. Jason was nipping at their heels at a time very few people were. They killed him because he was close. I have to believe that. I think if he had lived, he would have found him out. He would have found Geppetto. So what the hell reason do they have to attack us? A ship that outclassed them in every way. Even with the jump on us. What do they get out of it?
That is the question. I have Rudy somewhat covertly. I have allowed him to try to sweep the ship for unseen entities, undetected entities.
I suppose that makes a certain sense. I mean, one of the biggest issues that we've had investigating them all this time is these past few years especially. We don't know how they're getting in and out of places undetected. I mean, kidnapped out of his own home? He was smart.
On Vertex, no less.
The very same.
I would request that you would go assist Rudy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can go with that.
And, just sort of, still kind of flustered, just sort of part ways and go back to Dr. Feng. Hopefully nothing bad has happened in those 5 minutes.
You see that they're just putting Henry in this, 360-degree scanner that's focusing on his brain, but really just analyzing his entire being. And then there's a platform on the ground that's actually a projector, and as it scans, it scans up, and a holographic printout of his body is brought up, and Dr. Feng stands over it and starts deconstructing. He can move and takes the skin layer off, and then zooms in on every individual part almost to a microscopic level, and is just looking through everything.
I sort of come in and I'm looking at it also. Anything out of the ordinary?
Not so far. I'm gonna need to work on this for a while, though. Hmm.
Hmm. The fact that it is so ordinary is seemingly so extraordinary, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. So, Dr. Morris stayed with Ruiso, right?
Yes.
Oh shit, did he? Okay,
That's what we said.
Mm-hmm.
sure.
So, you're up here alone with... Yeah, okay. So, there are a couple of the security people from the station, I think, would have come with you to, like, escort the prisoner, and they're just waiting around. The doctor steps up to them and goes, I need you outside. My methods here are proprietary. The commander is here. There's no need for further security presence. You're making me nervous. You're dismissed. And they look at each other like, this person has the authority to do this, but they don't love it. They step out of the room and the door closes. And at that moment, they look back at you and go, okay, come here, look at this. You get closer, and you see, because this is, like, potentially going to take a little bit of time, you see that Henry gets put under sedation for, like, the deeper scan. And as they're showing you certain things, they go, this is clean work, expert work, but I don't think... Well... There are some discrepancies. First of all, you heard what I heard, right? You heard the...
Yep.
Look, and then blows up the, like, memory center, and then, like, really just he's going through different parts of the brain. They go, oh, you're gonna have to take my word for this, probably. But they, okay. So let's assume that all of these parts of the brain were grown gradually, right? And then he said that things were adjusted on the fly. I see those adjustments, but I don't necessarily see adjustments during a growth process. I see evidence of tissue regeneration, rejuvenation. Again, it's clean work. It's very difficult to tell, but there are elements that are grating. The memory center, for example, is somewhat erratic. Everything is stable, though. There's no reason to think that he's in danger, but this is just very strange to me. Not to mention, well, and then they pull up the stomach, and they go, look, you see a totally normal stomach readout. There is nothing weird about it at all. They go, do you see it?
I'll look a little harder.
No, they look in here. It's okay. So scars are a choice, mostly, right? In our world, but this is a little, but hear me out. Jason was stabbed to death in the stomach, and that killed him. I don't think anyone was necessarily healing that immediately, but the weird thing is, yeah, you don't see any tissue here necessarily. There's no scar tissue. It's clean, but if you go deep into the stomach, these more penetrative scans, they can go down to a cellular level. The cells here are newer. There's evidence of regeneration in the stomach.
Discrepancy of age. Which, if a body was constructed completely from scratch, everything would be the same. Would it not?
That would be my thinking, yes. And again, I mean, it would be very difficult to, you know, most people wouldn't see this, but I'm not most people.
But what reason would they have to claim that they solved cloning if all they did was solve regeneration?
Nobody ever told us they solved cloning. They said they reversed transcension. As far as I can tell, that is true. I am not 100% certain that this body was grown, though. But I am certain. I don't know how exactly, other than what I'm seeing. The math works, the notes, I mean, it's all here. If you understand it, it's all here. Whatever body this is, Henry Tell is driving it.
But to what end would they have need to lie to him about it? He seems to believe that this body is new.
If you think so. I'm not making any judgments here. Any conclusions. Just facts. And the facts support that this honestly, the facts support that this may just be the body of Jason Tell.
I put my finger to my ear. Lieutenant Ruiso, what have you been able to find?
Nothing suspicious, although admittedly it's been taking a longer time than usual to sift through all of these documents. I was able to get some information on the manner of Jason Tell's death. It's odd, to say the least, but there's nothing more than I can really parse from it. I'll keep digging, though.
Could you please narrow your search to... I do not know how to put this. To documentation of the process of regrowing, or more accurately, potentially, regenerating cells and cells of the body.
I've been stumbling on, their growth reports, different documentations. Is there anything in specific you're looking for?
Our good doctor has informed me that there are certain cells in the stomach that are newer than cells of the rest of the stomach. Do you understand what I mean?
No.
It means we are no longer confident that this body was entirely grown.
Ah. I will keep looking.
Okay. Go ahead and make a new roll about it.
Cool. Same thing as before, brands and computers.
So, here's the thing. Dr. Morris is still here.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you handle this?
Liam's there too.
Liam is there too.
Liam is there too! Run interference, Liam!
Yeah, I don't know if I want to necessarily tell Dr. Morris what I'm doing. Is Morris like looking over my shoulder looking at these documents, or just in the room, or what?
Is on a terminal next to you at like another station, looking at the same thing you are, and like sharing information back and forth with you, and like the terminals are connected. So he's basically seeing everything you're seeing.
Okay.
You could call Okita into the room and like have him try to distract.
I'm gonna hold on. Hear me out. I will like kind of like rub my eyes and do a big stretch from the terminal. It's like, is there a place where one can get something to drink here?
I mean, we have facilities for the employees here. If that's something you require.
Well, do you mind if you get me like a coffee or something?
If I get you a...
I mean, you know where it is.
I'm
surely.
happy to send an ensign, of course. Bradley, would you? Of course, sir.
Who the fuck is Bradley? Where the fuck does this guy come from?
Security guy that's hanging out.
Shit. Okay. I'll just kind of wait. I'll wait for the coffee to come.
Just a painful, like, few minutes.
Yeah.
This ensign comes back.
Okay. I'll position myself such that when I am going to grab the coffee from the ensign, I spill it all over Morris.
The classic.
Okay. Oh, man. You can either call this... This is either a flight roll or a charm roll.
Okay. It'll be flight. That's my D10.
Okay. Flight's only going to be a D6 for this individual. For Morris.
I see.
I love our boy failure lieutenants on the Mariposa.
Okay. Do I go first or do you go first?
No, you go.
I rolled a 5. Actually, you know what? I'm bumping that up to a 7 with my 2 star points.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, that's fine. I'll spend the... that was worth it. Just, like...
5 over.
5 over.
Yeah.
So you're bumping it up to 5 over?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's entirely my fault. I'm so... Oh.
No, it's quite all right. This is odd circumstances, and we've been here for a while now. I'll be back shortly. And he kind of like sweeps annoyed out of the room, but is very practiced at like keeping a lid on that.
Professional annoyance.
Okay, immediately going to the terminal. Hold on. Is this guy Bradley there? Hold on. Is Brad?
Yeah, so there are 2 security officers like in the room. They're not looking over your shoulder, but they're like stationed in here. Not really watching what you're doing, just watching you.
Okay.
Liam, kill those guys.
Yeah. It's like, Liam. Just
What's up?
Give me a tap on the shoulder if these guards are looking, or if Morris comes back into the room, huh?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking for the growth, the growth experimentation. Something about stomach cells in particular.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I grant him advantage on this roll because I told him what to look for?
That is a command. That is orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this is tricky stuff that obviously he's showing you these logs, right? So like it's not going to be easy. It is your D20. So I'm going to give you know what you're looking for. You have help, you have advantage. I'm going to say it's a 15.
Okay. And I'm using my computer, right?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah. That's a natural 20.
God bless.
Okay. That's a 20. That's a 22 on the D20. Okay.
So 3. If you get 3 more, you'll get 10 above.
that explode. My D4 explodes.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's 26.
26, 28.
Nice.
28. Oh my god. It's so good.
Okay.
You cracked the case wide open.
Obviously, there are not going to be logs about this thing if what you're saying is true. And there aren't. What you do find is there are not as many images of the growth process as you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look closely at these images, the images themselves are crisp and perfect. You see, like, the Henry Tell's body being grown at various stages. But it occurs to you to go deeper than the image itself. And you are able to reverse engineer the actual coding. Like, essentially, you are looking at the raw data of the images, not just the images themselves. And looking at the
metadata.
raw
Yeah, what
data
is that-
of the
what is
images,
that called? Yeah.
they are altered. It is,
There's a missing
again,
minute.
it is clean, expert work, but these are not necessarily AI generated, but like they're not real images of exactly what you're looking at. Something is changed.
Wait. So is it like there was a real picture that was taken and then has been altered, or is it like this is a completely new kind of image?
It's like it with that role, honestly, it's like the location that the images were taken is real, but the data of like what is in the picture itself, say for example maybe the body, is fabricated.
Okay.
Like to the degree that like if you're on the lit deck, the holograms look real. So why shouldn't photos that have been created also look like that are digitally altered also look real, right?
Shit. Okay.
So you have to look deep into the code to see, and in that code you again see that expert work of hiding it, but there is clearly some alteration that has been made. It's very possible that only the locations shown in the images are true, like the places in the lab that you can turn and look at where the body would have been laid, but the body perhaps was never really there. Now, all the logs pertaining to growing the body are very detailed, and the science checks out. Again, this is not groundbreaking. The idea that cloning is possible, that's never been the issue. It's the legality of it, right? Nobody's trying to clone a blank slate necessarily. It's more like you can't make another person. That's not cool. But so there's no reason to think that you couldn't just lay out like all the steps of doing that. And they're all there. But the actual physical evidence that it happened, what you realize is there is none.
Okay.
None that you trust. And you are certain these images have been altered.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't been sending any of these to the Mariposa yet, right? I've just been looking over them and verifying them, like, with my own eyes personally. Okay, I would like to send these pictures over to the Mariposa.
Because you spent to get up to 2 levels above.
Sure.
You absolutely can.
Okay.
You can just send them along.
I'll send them directly to Dr. Fang's office because I know that Constance is there. And then as I'm sending them, I'll be like, I don't know how much time I have, Constant. These images have been altered. That body is not. That man is not there.
That man is not who he thinks he is. Yeah.
That I don't know what's going on. You might have stumbled on something big. These images are meant to make us think that a body has been grown. But there is no visual evidence of that having been done whatsoever, and anyone can fudge data.
Fuck it. You rolled so good, I'm gonna tell you one more thing.
Okay.
You're looking at all the resources it took to make this. You are a scientist of the Cosmic Trust. You understand how expensive things are. Something is not adding up about the Cosmic Trust budget with the amount of experts that were brought in, the amount of professionals.
It all comes down to the books, baby.
Feels like there must be outside funding from somewhere.
Okay. I'll relay that as well to Constant, and I don't have a lot of time before Morris gets back. It doesn't take that long to clean up a coffee stain. But what do I do? Do I confront him? Do I what am I doing about this?
Do not confront them. I know Okita is there. However, if what the Admiral said was true about the amount of communication and collaboration on this project, it would not be wise to piss off, as Callie might say, the people you would be trapped with.
Okay. Sounds good.
I will discreetly relay the gravity of the situation to Okita. Just keep up appearances for now.
Okay. And then before I think when I finish that call, I'll turn my tabs back to the last place that I was looking before, and then I just kind of am waiting for Morris to get back.
Okay. He does, and seems none the wiser.
Okay. You know what? I think that was enough to wake me up personally. I think I'm okay not getting any coffee anymore. I'd understand if you don't want to get any coffee right now. How about we just keep going through these logs?
Of course. Well, there's plenty of time for breaks. As much time as you need. I want to make sure that we're thorough.
Indeed, and so far, you have been. Yeah, okay.
I do as I said I would, and I just sort of, in Okita's ear, sort of vaguely but succinctly explain the shit that we might be in. I think there might be some references that are inside jokes or inside knowledge between us, so in case anyone was listening, they wouldn't exactly know what is being talked about. And then I just turned to Dr. Fang and I'm like, unsure of what to do. I will just wait for Okita, I guess, and we'll just keep going through this.
I mean, I have to take Ruiso's word for it. I wouldn't know looking at the data of a picture. I don't know what I'm looking at here.
Who would we know? Who else in the science department would we know that could sort of break it down for Fang?
Toofty himself.
Toofty. I don't want to pull Toofty away. Well, this is actually pretty important if there's a grand conspiracy. So I think we do call Toofty to the deck and sort of explain what Ruiso was telling us and be like, can you actually blow it up for us to see and create copies for us to have in case something happens?
Shignok He's right. It's clean work, but it's true. This has been altered. You can see, I mean, the lines of code, it's there.
And then I sort of explain the stuff about the stomach cells and also the books not the sort of the accounting log, the QuickBooks report not adding up that I assume Ruisu also sent.
Sure, yeah.
Did Okita respond to me when I with instruction?
No, you got understood, Commander. Thank you.
Oh shit.
He's with the Admiral. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we on the sweep.
That's all you.
Because that will determine, I think, what Constant wants to do next.
How are
I
you
feel
approaching
like-
this?
I feel like we should go back in time a little bit
Yeah.
because as soon as he splits off from Constance, he'll boop boop and say, Lieutenant Veal, Lieutenant Commander Koti Rob, please meet me in my quarters.
Sure.
And then as soon as they arrive, he'll like shut his door and then lock it and then hand them both gas masks with like oxygen in it as well.
What is the
And
meaning of this, Lieutenant?
uh security sweep, and he'll really quick activate the fire suppression system in his room, which is like I imagine a foam to like suppress fires and stuff, and then watch it settle and then see if there's any places,
Nope.
any humanoid figures.
Mm-mm.
All right, and then he'll say, all right, pop quiz. How long ago did the Kithrali War end?
10 years?
Correct.
That was Veal being like, what?
Question number 2. What was the technology that the Kithrali were designing, nearly completed, that would have turned the war against the Cosmic Trust?
They're cloaking devices. Where are you going with this?
For 10 years, cloaking devices have been pretty much, basically, a reality for ship-based vessels. We have evidence of it that we found just this week. I think it is highly possible that there were more than just 3 post-mortals on that ship, and they may have been moving around our vessel, ready to sabotage it.
If that is true, they would need to have a way to bypass Amos's scans. When someone enters the ship who is not authorized, Amos automatically reports this to the captain and to the chief of security.
While that is true, our sensors are also good enough to detect any ship that comes within our range.
Indeed.
And we had no idea they were that close with a perfect firing solution. Additionally, they sent a vastly inferior ship with no backup to get themselves killed. And what's the first thing we did? Allowed our ship to connect with theirs. No need for any opening of any external docks or doors. Equally probable that as soon as anybody opened a door, they just stepped alongside with them.
An intriguing and disturbing hypothesis, Lieutenant. What do you suggest?
I suggest this, and he'll wipe off a whiteboard and write on it, real quick, iron sand projector, and he'll basically detail the blueprints for a device that will generate a magnetic field that will push a wall of iron sand out. So it doesn't matter if you can see it or not, but anything that passes through it will have it stick to it. So you can see if there's anything sneaking around.
Very cool.
That's very cool.
First things first, we do the same test that we did in my quarters in the engine room. Second, we mass produce these and have them sweep around the critical areas of the ships, and as soon as we confirm that there are no unfriendly beings aboard, we lock them down. Koti Ra, I'm gonna need you to find a way to have this have word of this passed around the security team without raising alarm. I don't want them or any of the civilians getting panicked.
This I can do. I need your assurance that this scan of yours will not be harmful to anyone it passes.
As long as they don't... It's just iron sand, so as long as they're not allergic to iron.
Very well.
Or breathes in the particulate.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Put on a mask.
Don't worry about it.
Lieutenant, you are dismissed to work on this at your discretion. She turns to, like, sweep out of the room in her usual business-like style, and then stops and turns and goes, "Very good initiative, Lieutenant."
Thank
She
you,
turns
sir.
and leaves.
I'm ready. Promotion. We're gonna get 2 promotions in this arc.
Oh my god, no way. Yeah, and then I imagine that Veal and Rudy just pick up McAllister on his
Mhm.
on the way there to engineering. It's just like gives him the rundown, and then anything funky go down in engineering when they do the same test.
So here's what we're going to do. Your premise is solid. You have help. You have advantage. I'm going to give you a DC 12 to build it. DC 17 to implement it quickly, and every like level above that is going to be even more quickly that you are able to like do this across the entire ship. You have advantage for Callie.
I'm gonna spend all 3 of my star points to explode my D20.
Yes. Yes.
Woo! Oh, 40 even.
Whoa.
Rudy is
You-
locked the fuck in.
You bring this to Callie, and you see something lights up behind his eyes. There is some fire there that needed to be turned on. And you click in to this perfect lockstep. It's like a trinity. You, Callie, and Veal are bouncing around like you live here. In truly, I'm going to say in just under 1 hour, you throw this thing together, you build it, and then fully implement it. And by the end of like an hour passing, with you guys in the med bay still looking at Henry and him like starting to wake up and you putting the scans away, Ruiso meeting with the captain in the like lobby area, getting ready to come back to the ship. Before anyone even returns to the ship, you have completed the scan of the entire Mariposa.
I think during like the building of it, he iterated so that it uses iron balls instead of iron sand to reduce the choking hazard.
Still a choking hazard.
Just turn around.
And you find, with 100% confidence, absolutely no one who is not supposed to be here.
And we also go through the maglev corridors for the emergency.
Every
engine.
inch of on that roll, every fucking square inch of this ship, you are certain. And there's even a part of you, like, McAllister's like, damn, that was such a good idea. I could have sworn you would have been right. I mean, I'm glad you're not, but there's a part of me that I thought it would be that easy.
Yeah. The only other scary thought is that they're already aboard the rehab center, but we can handle that in 30 seconds.
It's certainly possible.
I'll first officer, the scan has been completed. There are no hostile entities aboard.
Well done, you 3. I think it is time for our lieutenant, our ensign, and our captain to be aboard the ship again. Once more, don't you think?
Aye, sir.
And I will relay that information to Okita.
Understood. As he stands in the lobby with Liam, the Admiral, and Ruiso, having all reconvened, he goes, "Well, I think we have seen everything we need to see. We'll go now and get the doctor's report, Dr. Fang's report, I should say, and discuss how to proceed from there. Please, welcome aboard the Mariposa, Admiral Mendez."
Our house now.
So Admiral Mendez comes aboard,
Oh shit.
and we'll do it unless you guys want to intervene with something. There's a little montage that happens here where the Admiral and Okita together go up to the med bay. They go through your scans. There's some interviews with Henry. You're here for the better part of like another couple hours. Like you're just here for the day, pretty much. And finally, the captain, well, really the Admiral, calls a meeting. And you head to that same conference room, but this time with the Admiral at the head of the table and the captain at the other end, and the senior officers in between. Dr. Fang goes, and in conclusion, I can say with 100% confidence that this is Henry Tell, and he is stable. That is my professional opinion. And that's what I was here to give. That's it. Okita just fully does that. What? That is incredible, truly. I ask you then now, Admiral, what would you have us do? The rest of this is not in our hands, and I would like very much to return to our mission. Admiral Mendez goes, you know, I appreciate you doing this. I really do. I understand it was an inconvenience and an imposition, not just to you, but to the entire to the entire Cosmic Trust to keep you from your mission. And I hate to delay you any further. But the truth of the matter is, now that your official opinion has been tendered, turns to Dr. Fang.
I'm hackles are raising.
It becomes abundantly clear that this breakthrough, which it is nothing less than a breakthrough. Let's be honest, a prison is no place for something like this. He should be studied, monitored, the long-term effects. It shouldn't be here. And I think as a former member of the Cosmic Trust, Henry Tell has earned that consideration. He wants to do the time, fine. He's earned that too. I'm not denying that he committed a crime. I would never. But this is bigger than him now. Bigger than all of us. I have been authorized to have Mr. Tell moved from this facility to a research facility on Vertex. Now that Victor Crown is our representative, officially, his oversight will be incredibly valuable. I have been authorized to give you new orders, Captain. I would ask that you transport Henry Tell to Vertex, where he will be handed over to a research facility owned by Crown Industries. He will continue to serve the rest of his sentence there.
Assuming he consents, of course.
With respect, Commander, no one consents to their choice of prison. If he is to be detained, he doesn't get to choose where.
Given the history, are we sure that Vertex is the correct place to bring him?
The seat of our government?
A location that has proven pregnable by, well, we know who by.
When a fortress is penetrated, you do not abandon it, you fortify, you learn and rebuild. That's what we're doing. Easier to build something stronger than start something entirely new.
If I may be so bold, who okayed these orders for this transfer?
It was put to a vote by the council.
Is there a transition period for new representatives, or is Victor Crown immediately on the council?
Well, his official inauguration is... well, technically it's tomorrow. In fact,
So
you should be arriving in time for it, and considering everything that's happened, I can't imagine that anyone would turn away a little extra security.
So, was Victor Crown present at this most recent vote to okay this transfer to...
No, this still would have been...
Okay.
This still would have been Representative Montez's decision. Or at least, their vote to be cast.
I see.
I will be transparent with you. I see trepidation in this room, and I don't make a habit of asking for trust blindly. This breakthrough that we've made here, it wouldn't have been possible without Victor Crown. The same is true of your ship, of this mission that we all want you to get back to. But exploration, at times, can be a luxury. You're right, there is a danger here, clear and present. And you are the flagship, the best of the best. If that's where the danger is, I don't believe any of us should be surprised that that's where you want to be. If we just sent some piddly little shuttle, what happens when the post-mortal attack again? They would not be dispatched so readily as they were by you. I am inclined to agree, Admiral. Mr. Tell is safest aboard this ship. It will be done. He stands up. I ask that you give us some time, sir, to get everything in order. Of course, Captain. We will bring Mr. Tell to you when you're ready. They shake hands, and the Admiral sweeps out of the room with his own, personal sort of security escort going with him. And when he's gone, the door closes, and the captain sits back down and looks over all of you.
So much discussion of bodily autonomy, and yet they are so ready to throw him somewhere new to be poked and prodded.
Perhaps so much here is wrong. These altered images that you have told me about.
I think we just crack open the slideshow of here's everything fucked about this situation.
The evidence of his body. The possibility that his mind was placed not into a new body, but somehow into the body of his brother. We have the evidence, to be sure. But what to do with it now?
There is also the matter of the extra funds, the unbalanced books, so to speak.
Well, that has been explained.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Here's how I see it. The Cosmic Trust Mariposa, mighty flagship of the Cosmic Trust, pulls into Vertex Station as Victor gives his inauguration speech. Then all of a sudden, tragedy. Posthumans attack. Victor Crown narrowly survives an attack on his life, but oh no, the one human that underwent the process of no longer being transcended is killed. Victor Crown now has a rallying thing for human rights and a new identity to forge.
That is quite the story, Lieutenant. While I appreciate your zeal, I would not go so far just yet. We have to take this. We have to act one step at a time and look as many steps ahead as we can afford.
Do we know why Victor Crown has so much money?
That's a great question.
Where is the funding for the funding coming from?
Yeah. So, Victor Crown, a certain amount of it is inherited wealth, but a large amount of it as well is that was then invested into sort of post-war. He's very big into black vein,
Ugh.
distribution of that. When everybody got a piece of the black vein pie on Thrall after the war, he was really right in the thick of that. But then as a result of that, he also has a lot of hands in shipbuilding, and then also just like research and development of various technologies that go into space travel. um Sort of a man of a million things,
Yeah.
but the universal thing that is like the quality of his that everyone knows about is that he throws his infinite money well around like it's nothing. He says no to very little. And has, like, one of the reasons why people love him so much, why people respond to him so well, is that he has the fervor for innovation that like a child would. And he's very open about that. He looks up at space with childlike wonder very publicly, and just is like idealizes the future and what is possible.
That's terrible. That's so terrible for us. So it is very public. It would be very public that Victor Crown funded this project, this research project. It wouldn't be like this company, which is owned by this company, which is owned by this company.
Correct. You would assume. Here's the thing: is that the idea of this project is not. It's classified, right? So it's not public, but it's not going to be like, oh, like shell corporations. It's documented, right? So the idea of like, oh, okay, it was Victor Crown who the money came from. Sure.
I mean, we cannot allow this to remain a secret. Not just for the moral implications, but for the scientific integrity implications of it all.
Well, we are headed to the seat of the Cosmic Trust, to the Council. Would it not be best to present our evidence in person? No risk of anything being intercepted. The most basic ancient thing we all share. A basic verbal exchange of information, face to face. Frankly, I'm not sure what other option we have.
Is Crown Industries a... This is getting way into it. Is it a publicly or privately owned corporation?
Can we invest stock into Crown?
Can we buy so much stock that
Okay,
we can take this company?
Here's where it gets weird. Humans and Keithrali are the only two peoples in the Cosmic Trust that use money. And they don't use the same money. There is not universal Cosmic Trust fundage. Everything within, oh, we're operating together, generally doesn't cost stuff. So in order to be rich, to like have a bunch of money to do things, and for that to really mean anything, what that means is that it's the money to get the resources you would need from Earth or Thrall. That's the only reason you would need money. That's why the Mariposa took money, because it required so much effort that they needed to take some of it from people who charge for it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So money is a weird thing, and wealth is a weird thing within the Cosmic Trust, because it's only conditionally relevant. Victor Crown operates primarily in a world where money shouldn't matter as much. In a place where people get the basic necessities of life for free. So the idea of like, is the company privately or publicly owned, it's a little bit tricky to even get into that.
Well, it's also a question of like jurisdiction once we if we successfully hand over Henry Tell over to Crown Industries, what are the legal implications of that? Like, is this a like even if these don't terms like exactly exist, just for like my real world understanding, if it's like a privately owned company that like who the fuck knows they could be doing to this guy, or is it like a
Right.
publicly owned company
Well,
that is
consider this as
contracting
well.
with the government? Like, what is
Did we
going
ever get rid
on?
of the slavery clause for criminals in the 13th Amendment?
Exactly.
Yeah. So the other thing to consider is that Vertex City Station is technically his.
That sucks so major.
He built it.
That sucks so major for everything about this is bad.
He built it. He built it as a gift for the Cosmic Trust, but he did build it.
The light of capitalism shines upon
my
these
God.
communists.
Victor Crown winning the inauguration is like Obama giving himself the Medal of Freedom meme.
God, this sucks. How do you fight money?
Oh no.
Oh, we're like cooked actually.
What
But
do we
that's
do?
the thing. You guys have been talking so much about like, well, this is they're getting away with this on Vertex, and it's like, well, yeah, because Vertex, like, yeah, the seat of government power of like the United Nations of space, they do meet there, but they don't control completely who comes in and out of that city because they don't own it. So
Corruption in my bureaucracy?
Couldn't be. Oh no. Okay. Cool. So I think we should be prepared for we produce this evidence and then get court-martialed for it. That's what I think the worst or killed. Those are the two
I've
worst
never related to
situations.
Superman more.
Hear me out.
Superman really began his ass beat by Lex Luthor. I'm like, I totally understand, my boy. How do you fight him?
Hear me out. Okay, so the only true innocent parties in this are us and Henry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Henry is kind of a victim in all this. Henry. Okay, here's where it gets a. Okay, okay, all right.
I'm walking with you.
Yeah, I'm stepping.
Henry wants to reverse transcendence because he ultimately wants to die. His true words were he wants to live long enough to be able to die, but ultimately he wants to die.
and he wants to be in jail for what he did.
And he wants to be in
said
jail.
that.
How about we just kill him?
Dude. No. Now listen.
Crown doesn't get what he wants.
It's really funny to think that this is the conversation that's actually happening too, but I know it's not.
You said no bad ideas.
Okay, maybe one bad idea. Oh god.
We're giving him what he wants. Yeah, how are we doing this?
Who do I
I'm
want?
not dead yet.
Who do I want to propose an idea, or do I even want anyone to propose an idea?
God.
Please, we're so
Help
stuck.
us. Help us.
Let's
Wait,
let fate
who's
decide.
here? Are all the senior officers here?
Yes.
Okay, all of them. Okay.
Let's have Laddie present an idea.
Oh.
Just call Eric real quick. And
Beep bop boop beep boop.
Actually, you know what?
Speakerphone.
Laddie needs something to do. I'm gonna give Laddie a cool moment in this our movie episode.
yeah.
Laddie
Just
goes.
send him to roll.
Laddie goes. Whoa, hang on. Brief brain blast for a second here. We said the leak must have come from the Mariposa or the rehabilitation center place, right? That's what we said. That's what we've been assuming. But their funding for their research comes from Crown Industries. which assumes Crown Industries knows what they're doing. I mean, maybe they don't, but correct me if I'm wrong, but is that not then a third possibility for where the leak came from?
Yes, and knowing that the post-mortal were able to, like I said, infiltrate Vertex does implicate Crown Industries as a third possibility.
And we've got that cool sand scan thing happen, so there's nobody bad here. So I think we can eliminate the Mariposa completely. I don't think the leak came from here. I just don't. I mean, maybe somebody is just a traitor. I don't want to think that. I don't think that. Frankly, I can't. Sorry, Captain. And the captain goes, "No, on this I completely agree." So, our astounding naivete notwithstanding, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's probably one of those places. So the admiral and the doctor, right? They've been messing around. They're altering stuff, so that casts a bad light on them. But we don't really know like why they did it. You know, like their reasons for doing that could have nothing to do with the post-mortal. That's why the sort of the conspiracy thing is like it's like ringing a little bad bell in my head, because it's like, well, maybe not.
Wait, yeah,
You know what else we can look
why
into?
didn't they actually clone a body? The technology is there, it's simply the ethics of it. But the ethics are way murkier if you decide to transfer souls into a dead body.
Well, you can certainly look into this on the journey, but it is a short journey. We will be there in a day.
Is there any way we could reasonably stall?
I mean, the battle damage. I mean, I still haven't been able to fully do a full scan of it. I think it might have shorted out some thrusters, you know?
We could also claim that we were due for some sort of maintenance when we were called away.
It would also give us time to look into uh, shipyards owned by Crown Industries, see what parts have been built and where they've been sent.
Damn, you two are locked in. Holy shit. Whatever you think we can get away with, Captain.
They want us there for the inauguration. I cannot say that I disagree with the idea that our presence would be helpful. We cannot delay too much. But I could perhaps buy us an hour or two. Leave that to me. My larger concern is at this point what we know of the true nature of Henry Tell's body. The question is, does he have a right to know the truth? My instinct is to say yes. But I will respect your opinions and listen.
Just because he deserves to know does not necessarily mean he would want to know. However, if he reacted negatively to this news, it could be used as further character witness for him, the subject of this research, to claim I was deceived in some way would only help our case. However, it is impossible to... I do not know how we would covertly figure out if he would want to know this information or not ahead of time.
think when he is brought aboard and we take off, we tell him. I think it is possible that he could help us. He was one of us once upon a time. And there are few who got closer to unraveling the post-mortal than he. Do not mistake me. I think in one matter the Admiral was correct. We are the most powerful force in the fleet. The best of the best. The post-mortal are out there. And they have a plan that has only begun to reveal itself to us. As of this moment, the task force to bring down the post-mortal begins anew. Right here, in this room.
I sort of glance in McAllister's direction as Okita says this.
Yeah. About time. So what is everyone breaking to go do with what little time Okita can buy you guys before you take off?
Honestly, this time I'm sticking to Okita like glue. If he sends me off to do stuff, specifically like, hey, go talk to this person about this, or go coordinate this, or like you're relieved to just like go do other stuff you need to do, like, then I will go do that. But I think this Constant is on red alert in their own mind. And I do think before I sort of pull myself together and I'm like, okay, Captain, what are we doing? There is a moment where I will go to my own quarters and just all of these emotions, so many emotions so quick in the span of like a week, in the span of like 2 days, bubbling up to the surface. And it just, the thinking about giving this man to Crown Industries is like the final straw. And just, I think Pluto and Constant talked a lot about the sort of first version, like biological capabilities of this body. And I think sort of crying was sort of like on the table, but there were more important things, and so it never really got cemented on like, I'm going to implement this or not. So I think to my surprise, tears just start falling, and I just punch something in my room, and it just creates a big ass dent. And for the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes, I just have to work through all of those emotions before I exit to go find Okita again.
I think Rudy will join Ruiso in science in case he needs him for anything mechanical for some reason, but he's using the computers there, and then he'd probably shoot like a text to Constance to ask for their organizational skill, and look through like Crown Industries shipyard construction logs, and then just track certain parts that he would know would be used to be put into the ship that like attacked us, trace like where those were sent, what they were used, find any discrepancies in that, any missing shipments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I would just also, I think, just like in my own quarters, could just stick my pinky finger into the computer console and just go direct through the ship to sort through that information.
Okay. So brains with investigation.
Yes.
With advantage because commander's helping you. Um, let's say I'll give you the basics on a. I'm gonna say on an 11, just hard enough to make you not be able to take half, to see because it is pretty public information, but you're looking for what is not there. So, or for what is not public. So, every 5 above 11 will be something better.
Well, I exploded on the D6.
Hell yeah.
So 23.
Okay. So 2 above. It's pretty squeaky clean, honestly. You don't see any evidence of like shady dealings, especially considering how poorly that would reflect on him. Um, I'm gonna say on that extra bit, you start cross-referencing with the parts on the ship itself, the ship that you found. And these parts are nowhere in the ballpark of what Crown has been dealing with. In fact, there would even be certain like parts and ships that would have been, being utilized here that might have been a better choice to use for this if he wanted to like contribute to a ship like this being built. You don't even see a sort of like by omission or like a pattern in what's not being said. There's just nothing there to connect to.
Okay, that's not what I was hoping to find. Odd enough it is to say that.
I'm still stuck on why this piddly ass ship would attack us, though. Like, what would be the point?
What are we not seeing? Because it comes out of nowhere. It gives us a little love tap. And now all our attention is only on why the ship would attack us. And then we see no other action. What aren't we looking at?
I mean, I asked if it could be because of the Tell brothers, but it also, if they knew that McAllister is on the ship, they could be trying to fuck with him too. There's any number of things it could be.
It just seems very coincidental that they would do an attack on McAllister's, or even just the Tell brothers specifically, and have it not be related to. Or, yeah. But we think that there is some tenuous tie between the Postmortal and Crown Industries, or at least Victor Crown himself, on account of the fact that a postmortal was, or like, I don't know, some evidence of the postmortal. I can really only attribute the postmortal being the ones behind Jason Tell's death, and like the burning of the house and the distributing of the body, and it's not a transcended, but it was a shell of a transcended. Not to mention explicit references to Geppetto and the cutting of puppet strings. So postmortal had to have gotten into Vertex somehow. I don't know. They could have gotten the ship elsewhere, not necessarily just from Vertex, not necessarily just from Crown Industries, but there could still be a link between them and Crown, regardless.
What was the policy of the previous human representative?
Of Farron? Their most of their term was focused on. Hang on, I just texted you this. I'm gonna look back at what I already wrote because I will have said it better there than I was about to.
How long do terms last?
So they're like presidential terms. You
Okay.
go for 2, so your maximum is 8. Theron
Okay.
would have been their second term, but Crown took it.
So they were around when the post-mortal were attacking
Mm.
still. Okay.
Okay, so mostly with the construction of Vertex was like a big Theron Montez project of like collaborating between the Cosmic Trust and Victor Crown and like making sure that there was a centralized location not in anyone's borders that they would be able to have. So they get as much credit for that as Victor Crown does. For the Cosmic Trust, like half of that. Um, and then the development of this mission. So the idea of like there's this galaxy, we're gonna build the best, coolest ship. It's been very Cosmic Trust focused. It's been very like humanity's place in the Cosmic Trust, showing that we're team players. Um, a little bit of like post-war sort of reparation handling inherited from the previous person, who by the way would have been the first human representative. So Farron Montes is only the second one ever. Um, but that's primarily what their term is known for.
What were their stances on transcended humans?
I mean,
What's Crown's
they are
stance on
one.
trans?
They are
Oh,
one.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Um, very much about like a united front for humanity, and did receive criticism for, you know, like the organic humans on Earth that are always screaming into a cloud, being like, "Please don't leave us behind." Um,
Me.
they
Um,
they were not opposed to that. They were empathetic to that, but didn't make any major moves rectifying anything like that. If anything, Crown is making loftier promises about that than they ever did.
Mm.
About like organic representation
A
specifically.
little bit, yeah. Crown is very much about it, his platform is very much based on we need a human identity in space beyond just what we are to the Cosmic Trust. His whole platform was we went out to explore space, stumbled into a war, picked a side immediately, largely to get access to a resource, let's be honest, from the Kithrali, which is the Black Vein, then, you know, revolutionized the transcension process by having transcended bodies now have this goo that lets them run basically forever. But still, everything has been very Cosmic Trust focused. Crown's position is humans don't have our own unified identity now, and we should. We need to be focusing on what we are doing aside from just the Cosmic Trust. We need our own organizations who are going out into space, doing their own thing too, not a part of this unified government. We need to know who we are, and that means all of us standing together. Organic humans are kind of split. A lot of them are like, that sounds more like he's down to like help us and work with us to get us to be a part of that. But then other organic humans are like, well, it also sounds a little bit like what everybody's always been saying, where it's like we need to be one united front. It's like, well, we need special consideration when everyone else is immortal. So it's a toss up with that. But that is his primary platform. Humans role in space beyond just being a member of the Cosmic Trust, because frankly, we're still babies out here.
Mm-hmm.
And people really responded to that.
Okay.
The only thing I
So,
can think of. Oh, sorry. If you have an
oh,
idea.
I was just gonna summarize it. So publicly, he doesn't have any like pro transcendent sentimentalities. He's more like he's doing the political thing where he's like, I stand for everyone, and we
Well,
gotta.
there is no pro or con transcendence, or pro or against transcending.
Oh, I suppose. Well, when isn't that the post-mortal thing? Like everyone.
Right, but they're not a political party. They're a
Well, yes,
extremist group, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like a hot button issue of like, should we be doing this at all? That was a long
I
time
see.
ago. That's past.
Gotcha.
Now it's just like
Okay.
this is a part of life. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I see.
Only thing I can think of is some rogue element in the Kith government using this to sow derision among humans. Uh, I mean, we mostly joined the war to get at Blackvein. I believe there was some sentiments back in the war that the Unala used humans as more foot troops or something. That's a bit shaky, but I mean, they would be able to build these ships and purchase them.
So you guys have primarily just been having this sort of conversation among yourselves. There's no more major like actions to take before they bring Henry on board.
There was one thing that I wanted to try and do. It's a bit of a stretch, but I wanted to see if I can do it anyway.
Mhm.
I wanted to see if I could transfer all of the files that were in Morris's lab to the Mariposa.
Oh,
either
you've already
to
done
Dr.
that.
Oh, all of them? Or not just the
Oh, well,
not just
the
the
ones
altered
that-
ones?
No, he wants the whole
Yeah, the
thing.
crucial
He
ones.
wants the whole kit
I-
and caboodle.
Sure.
Like I under the guise of like this is a scientific breakthrough. This is revolutionary. I'd like some more opportunity to just study it on my own time, basically, without the duress of making sure that this is peer review and all of that. Making sure that everything is hunky dory.
Honestly, here's the weird thing. I think I'm still not going to make you roll for it because what you found was not a matter of like, oh, I found something they didn't want me to see. It's you understood something they thought you wouldn't understand.
Okay.
The problem here is that you were underestimated. Both you and Dr. Fang saw something that a tenth of a tenth of a tenth of the population would be able to sniff out. So you have the files. They gave them to you freely, not thinking in a million years that they would get caught.
Hubris.
Then, if you can remind me, and if it's not in the files, I would like to ask Morris directly, what did they do with Henry's transcended body?
That's very interesting. As far as you would know, it is just there in the facility somewhere.
Okay.
They still have it. Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay.
It would state very clearly that Henry didn't want it. He never wanted to see it again.
Yep.
Understandable. That'd be a bit freaky.
Did it look like him, or did he choose a cool
That was another thing I
Dr.
wanted to ask.
Fang
What
with blue skin body?
Yeah, what did Henry's transcended body look like?
Do you turn into a deer?
That's an interesting question. I think he would have gone for one that looked largely like himself. No bells and whistles at all. He just wanted the I'm me but live forever and be stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. If anything, he had kind of a more armored frame. He pushed the limit of like how heavy you could be so that he could like tank damage.
Mm-hmm.
But aesthetically, he looked like himself. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just so that we're all on the same page about what happened. What is it? Post-mortal, abduct and kill Jason. They kill him by shooting him in the stomach.
Stabbing
and then
him.
they leave it, stabbing him. Thank you. And then they leave him at basically the doors of the Cosmic Trust. Concurrently, experimentation on reverse transcendence has been going on at the rehabilitation facility, and it wasn't until they were able to obtain both like Jason's body and have like Henry, who was already transcended and wanted to reverse transcend, that they were able to kind of go forward in like a
Yeah.
matter of months.
They had been discussing it for a couple years. This
Mighty
doctor had
convenient.
scoped it. Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. That's when Dr. Morris was like, innovation out of tragedy. It was like,
Yeah.
you want to say that like Jason was down to just sort of provide DNA and scans of himself while he was alive, because this was already being discussed. The doctor was like, this could be possible. Are you down for this? For both of the brothers. So it was in the works, and then he died, and then it was like, well, his body was donated for the purposes of like Cosmic Trust science. We'll use it for this. But then the doctor has lied to you about how he used that body, clearly.
Right. So crucially, instead of them using Jason's body to clone a different body, they simply just repaired Jason's body and used that directly
And
to
molded
transfer.
the anatomy of his brain to more closely match what
Yeah.
Henry's brain would have needed.
And also seemingly lie to Henry about what the body is. Because Henry said, right, like, they cloned me a new one. They gave me a new one. But that's
He didn't
not,
say anything that made it seem like he knew.
that's not true. So,
I guess I'm going back to why they had to go through the trouble of making up this story of having cloned a body in the first place. The ethics are already murky, but it is less unethical if a dead body who had already said he wanted to donate his body for the pursuits of science. You know, like...
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what reason would they have?
I have
Yeah.
two theories. One, it didn't work with a cloned body, so they just used the dead body. Two, he is a Winter Soldier sleeper phrase that will do something bad when it's uttered. Because if his brain anatomy has just been altered, then who knows how it's been altered and for what purpose.
So we're saying that... So you're saying that with that second theory, that's not Henry at all. That's Jason that has been programmed to think that he's Henry, and a sleeper agent phrase will activate Jason again.
That's what I'm thinking, because he did slip up and say Henry instead of Jason. And also,
Yeah.
they've already messed with his brain, and we don't know why they're doing any of this.
So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward us to a couple hours later. Henry is brought on board, and the captain requests, after the ship takes off, he is given his own quarters. I would say they don't really feel the need to put him in the brig. They just put him in, like, quarters of his own that are monitored. Or at least from the outside, there's, like, security on the outside. They, like, don't give him sharp objects or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We put up those 70 bead curtains in front of his door.
But the ship takes off as the bay doors open. You go to warp knowing that there is only a short journey ahead of you to Vertex. The captain summons a very small number of people. I think the only people that he would want to even be there are Dr. Fang and Constant. And you go to the quarters that he has been assigned. And Henry is just, like, sort of pacing the room.
I would request, I would suggest strongly that if he's up to it, that it should be, if we're about to tell him the truth, I would suggest that it should be Callie to tell him the truth, because we are still strangers, technically, but he knows who McAllister is.
It's a bit devastating for Callie too, isn't it?
Well, Constant wouldn't do anything that
Sure.
No, that makes sense.
Michael wouldn't want to do, but in terms of also thinking about what we're about to tell this man, getting it from a friend is probably better than strangers.
The needs of the many.
Okay. It's a larger group, but it makes sense. So you go in, and as the door opens, Henry sort of sees you all come in. He stands up, and then he sees Callie. Mike? I mean, what, you didn't know I was on the ship? No, I did. I just didn't think you'd come see me. I really want to say that it sucks to see you, but it doesn't. Yeah, well, give it a minute. Listen, we got something to tell you. And I don't think it's something you're really going to want to hear, but there's a lot going on here. And we're trying to figure it out. But... And he puts a hand up. Henry does, and he goes... Just before you say anything else, let me just ask, because maybe I know where you're going with this. Mike, you look me in the eye and you tell me something. Okay? And you, Doctor, Captain, all of you, just be straight with me. Did they put me in Jason's body?
No.
Constant puts a hand on Callie's shoulder.
He nods and, like, you see him start to look away, and then he forces himself to hold Henry's eyes. He doesn't really know what to say at this moment. And Dr. Fang goes, "How did you know?" I didn't. I mean, I still wasn't certain, but I thought when you had me sedated, when I was asleep, and you were trying to figure me out, I had this dream, I guess. I was him. And I mean, and I felt like I felt like it was me, but it's hard to explain. But I was in a dark room, and I was tied up, and there was someone there. His face was not a face, it was just a black screen with images, an outline of something, like a sketch of a face, drawn in light. And it killed him. I felt it. And there was something before that, images, just thoughts of him, of his, that don't feel like mine. I don't know, I just knew. The captain goes, "The doctor does not know that we know, at least as far as we know. And the Admiral, well, we don't even know how or if he is involved in this at all. But we are going to Vertex to find out, and I will tell you now, I am not so eager to hand you over to the custody of a man whose intentions are now in question. We are to get to the bottom of this. And we could use your help, Henry." He turns and he activates the window mechanism so that he can look outside into space. And you see something in his posture straighten. It's like his neck cracks like Okita's did earlier, and he just half turns back. Whatever it takes. You just point me in the right direction. And that is where we will pick up in part 3, the conclusion of our super long movie episode of Starlit Future. Post-mortal.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dog, you got my hair coming out of my ponytail.
So many
this is a fun one.
questions.
It is.
So many.
Yeah. It is very fun to be doing like the grand scale sort of movie style episode. I am very much looking forward to the last leg of this one.
Yes.
There's only more crazy for it to get, so. And now you've got Henry / Jason ?
Jason Henry?
Henson.
Jim Henson.
Jim
It's Jim Henson, everybody.
Jim Henson.
And with the puppet thing. Wow.
Wow.
It's all
Wow.
coming together.
It's
Yeah.
like poetry, it rhymes.
wrong Star franchise. Yeah, guys, it's been fun, and it will continue to be. Until next time, keep it cosmic.
Bye. Oh, my wrist.
Oh, Jesus.
One last bone crack for the road.
One last bone crack for the episode.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.